Hi everyone, this is Eddie Seymour. Thank you for stopping by and to my video. Today we're going to talk about how you qualify for a mortgage, how much you qualify for a mortgage, and you'll get an idea today what the bank looks at when you are trying to apply for a mortgage. First of all, let me have a little caveat here. Today is June 1st, 2017, and I'm giving you the information that's based upon today's rates, which is between 4 and 4 1/4. That could change if you're looking at this in a later time. And in trying to figure out how much you qualify for, the first thing you have to do is you have to determine what your gross monthly income is. So in other words, whoever is going to be on the loan, you have to figure out your gross monthly. Now, those who are going to be on the loan, in other words, it could be you and your spouse, it could be you and your brothers, it could be any two people. Sometimes they allow 3, but just for today, let's base it on either yourself looking for a mortgage or you and your spouse. Now, how you figure this out, again, this is called gross monthly. Your gross is actually what you are paid, what kind of income you're getting before taxes. So let's say, and we'll make it easy, that you guys make $120,000 a year. A year. So what you do, I'm doing 120 because math is going to be much easier this way, but insert here what you wrote on your income tax. This before taxes, before any deductions. But in order to make it easier, I chose 120 because what you got to do to get your monthly income is divide this by 12, and that becomes $10,000 a month. This is what the bank is looking at, all right? So, again, take your gross yearly income, divide by 12, and now you have your gross monthly income for those who are going to be on the loan. Now, 2 very important ratios. The first one used to be as important as the second one, but the first one is very simple. What do you qualify for on your mortgage? And the bank says, hey, we don't want you to be any more than 33% of your gross monthly income. So math-wise, 10K divided by 33% is actually 3,300. So what the bank is going to say is, hey, John and Jane Doe, you cannot have your mortgage any higher than $3,300 a month. This is called the front-end ratio. They're not as strict on the front-end ratio as they are on the back-end. Again, there's a front-end and a back-end ratio. This is the front-end. The back-end is the most important. What they want to say is, you cannot be any more than 45% of your gross monthly income with the mortgage, which is right here, plus your bills that you pay per month. Now, let's define bills. There are 2 of them. There's a fixed liability and there's a variable liability. The fixed liability is car payments, student loans, perhaps you have a personal loan. The amount is always the same until the loan is paid off. So let's just say that you have a car payment at $600 a month. You have a student loan at $200 a month. So your fixed bills are $800 a month. Then they want to know all your variable loans, kind of like credit cards, revolving, where you have credit cards, you could have a line at a bank, you could have a line at a store. They want to know the minimum payments. Now understand that, it's minimum payments. So when you get your credit card and your credit card says, hey, you have a $6,000 balance, but your minimum payment's $150. You may pay more. You may pay $300, $400. You may pay the whole thing off. What they want to know is the minimum payment. So let's say you have 3 credit cards. One is $150 a month, one is $100 a month, and the other one's $50. All right? If you add all this up, you've got $1,100 a month. All right, so what they're saying is you can't be more than 45% of your gross monthly income, counting your monthly bills and your mortgage. So if your monthly bills right here is $1,100, all right, and they're saying you can't be more than 45%. 45% of 10K, which makes it much easier for us to figure out, is $4,500, right? That's pretty simple to figure out. You have to do your own way. That means your mortgage can't be more than $3,400 a month. People, they're lax on this. They are tough as nails on this. They won't take 46%. They won't take 45.5%. This is how tough the banks are. So again, take your gross monthly income, multiply it by 45%, and that is the amount of your bills and your potential mortgage. So we know at $10,000, you can afford a $3,400 a month mortgage. Now, let me erase this off so we can go over that. How do they figure out the mortgage? Let me go ahead and teach you that today. Excuse me. Let you know this is based upon today's rates between 4 and 4.25. There is, instead of multiplying and trying to figure this all out, there's a factor called 5. 4 to 4.5% is right around a 5%, 5 factor. So in other words, if you're buying a house that's $500,000, multiply this by 5, and this will be one section of your mortgage. Now let me explain the mortgage. Maybe people know it's PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. But there's also 2 other things you have to be included now and what the bank looks at. HOA, Homeowners Association dues, and PMI. Now, I'll put PMI in a second here and explain that to you. But those are all part of your mortgage. Principal, this is the amount you're borrowing. Interest, the amount the bank is charging you per month for that amount of money. Real estate taxes, this is what your local jurisdiction gets for taxes on your home. And I is insurance. You have to have insurance to be able to get the loan. The bank will not give you a loan unless you have the house insured because they are the benefactor. All right, so PI, principal and interest, right here, that's the factor. 5 times the amount of the house is $2,500. So that's P and I, principal and interest. All right, and then there's called taxes. Well, when you are looking online or your agent gives you a listing, look for the taxes. It'll be either yearly, usually yearly taxes on the house. Let's say on this house, the taxes are $4,800 a year. Now, I did this to make it easy. Again, this is yearly taxes, as we did your yearly income. Divide this by 12, and this will give you $400 a month on taxes. So now we have principal, interest, taxes, and then there's insurance. Insurance covering fire, theft, floods, all that stuff. You can talk to your insurance company, but I'm just going to say for the argument, I'm just going to say it's $70 a month, okay? It could be a little higher, and usually this depends on your credit scores. So $70 is average. Could go up $10, could go down $10 or $20. All right, now we had the PI and the TI. PI, TI. Now, this totals up to be $2,970. And you say, okay. No. Every home, or most every home, has a homeowners association. And the bank includes that because they want to make sure you can afford it. So for the sake of argument, I'm going to say HOA is $100 a month. Now, once again, when you look on the listing online, when you're looking for your taxes, they will also have the amount of the homeowners association. Right next to HOA, it will say $100, whatever it says. Now, here's the other thing that people do not realize, and I'm going to put it up here in big letters, PMI, Private Mortgage Insurance. You have to pay a monthly premium to the PMI if you're not putting down 20 or more percent. It's an insurance giving the bank saying, if you default, the difference between your down payment and what they sell it, the bank will get it from this insurance company. All right, the way you figure out PMI, private mortgage insurance, is very simple. Take the price of the house, which is $500K, and multiply it times 1.03%. And I've already done this for you. It comes out to be $5,150 a year. You divide that by 12, thank you very much, and that's $435, almost $490 a month. So you add that, and this is the final figure, 10, 15, 35.60. This is what the bank looks at. Can you afford that? And you can see at $120,000 a year, when you have a 10%, right, at $4,500, hey, I want this house so bad, but the bank's not going to let me go over $4,500. I have $1,100 a month in bills. That's $3,400. Do you understand that? There's your monthly bills. That's what the bank's going to allow for everything. You're at $3,400. You're a little high. Two thoughts. One, either drop the price of the house or drop that down. Banks love for you to drop that down. You understand? But that's the formula. You cannot go over that. You just can't. They won't even allow 4510. I mean, I've done this. I've gone through with banks. They say, no, Mr. Seymour, we don't want them going over 4,500. And 99% of the time, what we do, because they love the house so much, is that we try to get this reduced. They take some of their money that we're going to put down, and they pay down their debts. Okay? Now, I want to say one thing, just as a real estate agent. Again, been a real estate agent for 18 years. I was a loan officer for 8 years, a mortgage broker for 2 years. When you go to that 45%, you got to tell yourself, yeah, we're at our limit, but I have a raise coming up in a few months, or I know more money is going to come in, because once you're at that level there, you are going to be house poor. And if you know that, hey, eventually within the next 6 months to a year, I'm going to get a couple of raises, my wife's going to get a couple of raises, blah, 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 we're going to be making not 120, but 140, then you can afford to go to this level. I'm just telling you, if you think, no, I'm stuck at that, I'm not going to make more than 120,000 for the next 3 to 4 years, then people, do yourself a favor, don't go over 40%. Okay? Because I would hate to see you get house poor. I see a lot of my clients, I've warned them, they went to the max and they ended up for a couple of years of really having a hard time. You need that extra 5% because you want to be able to spend it on your things that you want in life. Again, go down to 45% only if you know that you're going to get raises in the future. If not, stick at 40. You can still find some beautiful homes, all right? So I hope you learned. Again, what you want to do is, again, get your gross monthly income multiplied by 45%. That is what you can get with your bills and your monthly mortgage. If you have any questions, below this video is my contact information. Feel free to call me at any time. I would be more than happy to help you. Thank you.